want to use a square bit. To take out the screws on this side of the turbine. This is a Q4 Platinum. We want to take this part of the box off. I always start with the floor, or the bottom. Use a magnetic tray to keep your screws together. These have a tube on the inside. It has to be reinserted. You can see here, there's a little black dust. So there might have been some burning on the motor. There's a rubber gasket on the top here that you want to keep. And often there's a spacer that can get knocked off. So you want to be sure and put that back on. What we're going to be doing here is changing the turbine motor. Alright. I like to look inside, check the wiring, see if there's anything floating around in there like a loose washer. Don't see anything. Okay, now in order to access this, the wiring, we also need to take the floor off of this. And we'll have to remove this. So there's a locator here that lines up to hold this exhaust. Not exhaust, but okay. The wires here are strapped to keep them snug. But the first thing you want to do is take this ground off so that you can drop the floor. And that way I can review the wiring before I undo it. Again, there's some black residue in here that could be paint residue. Some of it even looks like a little bit of water got in there because that kind of looks like rust. But most of this, I believe, is black. The black will be from the motor brushes if something in the motor burned. We'll clean that before we put it back together. Clip your wires. Not the wires, but the straps. Now the best thing to do at this point is to take a picture so that you know which wire goes where, and you can put it back together again, because the motor kit, it's the kit for replacing the turbine motor, comes with, normally it comes with a new connector, a new fuse or breaker, and a new switch. So you'll have to remove all these, replace them. That means you're going to have to disconnect all these wires. So one thing you can do is disconnect the wires, replace this switch, and reconnect. And do them one at a time. But that means you're going to have to disconnect them from the motor, because we got to get the motor out first and replace it. Go ahead and take this off. Okay. What we want to do now is disconnect all this. Yeah. Might need a pair of needle nose pliers. You need a Phillips head to take the plug out, the plug connector. And I always keep all these because the kit may or may not include all the screws and washers and stuff. Just in case. This has a clips on the inside you have to push together to get it out. 15 amp fuse. Okay. I'm going to remove these nuts. This is a 7/16 inch socket. Be sure to go the right way. And there's a lock washer under each of these nuts. So you want to keep the lock washer and the nut, because the kit doesn't come with those. Now the lock washer's on the back side. It's too tight to get to normally with my finger. Oh, let's see. Got it. Okay. Now, as you pull this up, you're able to get the hose connector adapter out of there. This block goes between the adapter and the wall of the case. Not always easy. Okay. Now, if it's too hard to get that apart like that with it all connected, you can take this off. It screws in. It screws on the outside, so you can take that off. This is connected to this. You can take that off, put your motor in, you know, with these two things apart, and put it back on. Now, there's a base down here for the motor, and then you've got these tubular spacers that set the location. And the kit comes with new spacers. You don't necessarily have to replace those. And there's a washer under each one. So if you want to take all this out to clean in here, which we normally do, you have to take these posts out, or tubes. The washer. This one's really on there. You can tell these tubes have a break. It's actually a cut too. So from vibration, from if you ratchet one of these down too tight, and also from vibration, or if the turbine gets dropped or knocked, it could crimp these, and they could either shorten and expand a bit, or they could tighten up like this one. So it's your call. Inspect them. The kit does come with new ones. I would replace them. Just be sure to keep your washers, because it doesn't always. It might come with the spacers, but it won't come with the. Doesn't always come with the washers. Yeah. There's another washer underneath that base, and another shorter tube, which seems to be fine. I usually leave these in here because they really don't get in the way of wiping out the inside of the box. Alright, I've got the new turbine motor here. Now, one thing that's very important, when you pull the old one out, it's got this rubber seal on the bottom of it. So it'll come out with this seal. The replacement motor and kit does not come with this, so you'll have to take this off the old motor, put it on the new one. So you put that on. Be sure to insert the hose connector. Now, Put your lock washers back on. And the nuts. Hand tighten these, keep the pressure relatively easy or similar, you know, between the three. And then with the ratchet, basically what we want to do is compress that lock washer. So tight, but not too tight. Just enough to where you can feel it stop. Okay. And this clips in. Got the new 15 amp breaker. The plug connector mounts on the inside. Alright, you got your two neutrals around the turbine. The one facing up here goes to your switch. The lower one goes to the bottom of the plug cable connector. Now, the kit comes with a short black wire and a long one. Short one goes from the fuse. Oops. The blue connector goes to the fuse. Red connector goes to the power cable connector. You got another ground. There's one ground that comes on the turbine motor itself. The other one goes to the top prong on the cable connector, power cord connector. Okay. The long black wire goes from the fuse breaker, signature, up to your power switch. Alright. We'll wrap these with a draw tight when we're done. You want to reconnect the grounds. There's a washer. I took it off when I cleaned the floor. This washer with a sort of star shape on the inside. Little teeth goes on that. post. On the locator that screws into this hose connector adapter there, it goes through here. So that's how you know your location is correct. The second ground wire, the second nut. Okay. Before you put the floor, screw the floor back on, you gotta get this in between the hose connector and the bottom panel here. That locator screw's gotta go through this into a screw hole on the bottom of here. Just check that. Okay. If you have a drill impact driver that has a variable speed, might want to start with the lowest setting. On this particular drill, I start at the second, not the highest one, because you don't want to torque these too tight. It can strip out the head. Just sort of square up the box as you're going around. Okay. All set. Basically, we just want to gather these wires together and restrap them. Now, at this point, before putting it all back together, I like to run it. Oh, good. Okay. Now put our spacers back in. Actually, it came with new spacers. The kit came with new spacers, so let's use those. And the top or upper rubber seal. Okay. We'll put our tube back in. Now this takes a little bit of skill. So we gotta line up this with the intake post. Let me wipe this down. More paint residue. It's such a buildup of this. It looks like there may have been some paint dripping in here. Okay. This is where the rubber gasket, the rubber seal touches, and this is for your post. It's not lining up. There we go. That's what it was. Just make sure you can see through that hole. And the same thing as you're putting the screws back in, square it up. This plate has 2 locator pins that have to insert into the ones on the inside plate. Now you might need to loosen up that Allen wrench. About there we go. Then hand tight. That's it.